and welcome to this EN Engage session. My name is Ruth Carter and I am guest editor for Exhibition News. I am delighted to welcome this week's guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Julian Agostini, founder, managing director, and god of MASH Media, of which therefore he is my boss. So if it looks as if I'm blowing some smoke, I probably am. Jules, welcome.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
Thank
you for responding to the order to make sure that I got one of your interviews.
The man with the guns came round and said, Jules would like. So, but actually, as an aside, you did take a bit of arm twisting, which will come as a bit of a surprise. And I think that's because usually, I mean, you do lots of these, but you're sitting on this side rather than that side. Does it feel strange?
Not strange, but you know, I'm kind of aware of my own ego, and I think I've made everybody else aware of my own ego. So yeah, I don't want to abuse it. Or maybe I do. Who knows? God.
So firstly, happy birthday for last month, because MASH was a staggering 26 years old, which means you've seen a huge amount of change and movement in our industry.
Yeah, ridiculous, isn't it? Less change than you'd imagine, actually. But no, that's not fair. But yeah, incredible. 26 years. Yeah, 26 years.
And what are you from we're putting your Exhibition News hat, because of course MASH has got many fingers in many pies, not least Confex, which is coming up on 22nd, 23rd of June. There's a lovely line, isn't there, that there's an organisation called the Albright Foundation, which is about furthering the position of women in the workplace. And there is a line that says there's a special place in hell for a woman that doesn't support another woman. And I think that should apply to any event professional that doesn't support Confex. That's possibly a little excessive, but let's get that out there. We need to be lighting a way back, don't we?
But line them all up against the wall if they don't turn up. I think, yeah, maybe.
Oh, you got the interview, yeah.
No, I think I'd be surprised if people aren't desperate to come. They haven't seen anyone for a year at least. It'll be 15 months. So anybody in the events industry, and just to see what it looks like in the landscape. But there's been a real swell of excitement about it, to be honest. So yeah, we're all really looking forward to it. And the date obviously is hilarious. I mean, having said it was going to be June the 22nd and already announcing that rather before we're told that all the restrictions are lifted on June the 21st. We had a little chuckle to ourselves.
There is a God. There is a God. So you will have seen an awful lot of, as you said, an awful lot of change or an awful lot of not of change. And it's the last year has been, I think, fascinating in two ways. One, it's accelerated our use of technology. And secondly, it's accelerated our love of physical, live, in-person, face-to-face events. So it's really sent the industry off in this dichotomy. What's your take on where we are, what's happening, and where we're going?
Do you know what? It's I would say over all the time I've been in the events industry, and obviously my dad was an organizer at Montgomery's, which is how I kind of got a love for the industry, as it were. So it's always been around me. He was at Westbourne Group before that. People won't remember them, but it's always been around me. And it seems to me that in all the stages, there's always been this kind of paranoia, or not paranoia, but discussion and a little bit of looking over our shoulder about what's going to finish the industry off. And it's been all sorts of things, and the virtual exhibition's been talked about for decades, it seems to me. But the internet was definitely going to kill us. That was it. I mean, that was it for exhibitions. I mean, you'll remember that. That's it. Internet. Exhibitions are done for, all finished, and of course then we find out that they start helping exhibitions and social media. That's everyone, that's going to finish. No, that's going to help as well. And it's the same thing, I think, with the Zoom and all these the various activities that we now do. This video interview we're having now, I wouldn't have considered that, I think, before. Probably not. So yeah, our lives have changed. Mind you, I'm a technical desert, but I mean, even that I think people have all the virtual bandwagon that's been going on this last year. And again, real kind of paranoia. That's it. That's it. That's the end of face-to-face. No, it will help. It will help make it better again. It will enhance it. The bottom line is it's a very robust model. People want to get face-to-face. People like other people in the end. We also don't like other people, but mainly people like other people and they want to be around them. And that's where trust is created. It's where relationships are really built and enhanced. You can't beat it. Never will.
I remember doing events a long time ago, and it was about in the retail sector, and it was about the arrival of technology. We did, clicks and bricks. Those are the exciting titles we used to use in those days. And it was the message very clearly was technology and online shopping will be an enhancement to the physical retail experience. And actually, what we're seeing 20 years later is that's not the case. What we're seeing is the demise of the high street. The high street is turning into service providers rather than vendors. Are we being complacent? Are we complacent purely because the technology isn't quite where we want it as yet? Or do you really believe that we're safe as houses for a very long time?
No one should ever believe they're safe as houses because that pride comes for a fall and all that sort of stuff. So never believe your own hype. There you go. Other adages at this stage. I think no, we can't be complacent. But the high street's a good example, and can I touch on that for a second? Because what's missing? But the high street did become complacent. And it hasn't created any experiences. And actually, if you look at our industry, that's what we must continue to do, is to create experiences. And I actually think we could influence the high street enormously. I've actually written to my council several times about that. And I've got a Zoom meeting with my council, even though they're there. And God, is it tomorrow? I don't know. But about exactly that, because Kingston, which is a beautiful and rich town, is falling apart. It's awful and it looks terrible. And what are they going to do? And one of the key concerns to me is that they haven't created experiences, and the high street should be creating experiences because that's what brings people to it. And so if it is just an online shopping where if it is just functional, then it doesn't enhance it. It replaces it. If shopping is functional, so don't make shopping functional. Make it a wonderful experience. There's so many little things that they can do. There's a little. Sorry, I'm going on about this, but it's a real bugbear. There's a little Joe Malone store. It's just up here. I've wrote about it in a blog, and they do hand massages and scent smelling and all this sort of thing. And it's always packed. It's always packed. They make a little event out of going into the shop. It's always packed. People won't go and buy that online. They make an event out of it. But there's also, when the Christmas market's on here, the whole place fills up. Everybody gets a payday, and the council doesn't learn from that. Have something else every month or every other month at least. You've got the perfect area to do that and to make people come. That's what draws people out. So I actually think we've got a big part to play, because if we keep creating experiences, you can't replicate it.
I remember the first time I went into an Apple store and wanted to buy something, and the salesman said, actually, you're better off going around the corner to wherever and buying them there because they're slightly cheaper. And I said, oh, don't tell your boss you said that. And he went, no, my job is to give you the best possible experience for your Apple product. If you buy it with me or you buy it around the corner, I don't mind. And it's that, I thought that was fascinating. It really puts your point about experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think all the shops could be doing their own little bits, but also the council should be putting on something central as well. Make it exciting to come in. So
if you take that analogy and apply it to our industry, if the shops are our exhibitors, we're the council. And do you think that's horrifying? So I don't like that. I think we'll cut that bit. If we are the council, what should we as organisers be doing differently? And there's so many people saying to me, 2020, whilst a bloodbath was a reset and it was an opportunity to step back and think, but when we come back, we can't come back on the 1st of March 2020, as if it was the next day. We've got to come back with a whole year of learning, or a year and a half of learning. What should we be doing differently, organisers, do you think?
From this point on, you mean? Well, first of all, it'd be crazy to ignore, the impact of, I keep saying Zoom because that's what we use, but there's all sorts of platforms that have come into the market. And it'd be crazy to ignore that. And everybody talking about the hybrid or the blended event, but certainly, I think every event needs to be considering opening up their audience and having some kind of online content, both during the show and subsequently. I think the 365 thing that everybody's talking about and making sure that they're in touch with, their marketplace all year round, that seems, I can't believe that people are just waking up to that. That seems plainly obvious to me, and something that we've been talking about, something we do anyway, because obviously we've got the magazines, but crazy if that has been the approach to see your exhibitors once a year and rebook them and see you next year. Obviously that there's going to be problems in that relationship. There is no relationship there, so I think certainly those things need to be learned, that you have it's easy enough to stay in touch all year round, to put out content, to give added value the entire year round, and every organizer should be doing that and have that in their armory. I think also, the look and feel of the exhibition is important, but has a reset button been pressed, or is there the opportunity to press it? And that's going to be really interesting for me, I think. For many years, it's wound me up a bit that you go to the bigger shows, nothing that I could organise, nothing that of our scale, but the huge shows, and you go to these gin palaces and walk around them, and they look a bit, the staff look a bit vicious, and like you don't want to go on there anyway. And you kind of think to yourself, is that what the organiser wanted? I know they're getting a fraction of that money, because that's gone all out the window to the design and build guy. So the design and build guy, has he even spoken to the organiser about what's being achieved here and the level of investment that has gone into this? And is there a chance for that to be reset? I really hope so. To pull those people further into the industry, by the way, the industry that they serve, and not be parasitical. But also from the client's point of view, is that exhibitions can be really good ROI, but not if you go and throw a load of money away on something that the organizer hasn't really wanted you to do in the first place, or been part of their plan. So there's an opportunity there. That may mean smaller stand space, but so what? I suspect some organisers won't necessarily want that, but I can see those shows just carving down a little bit. See lots of opportunities. A lot of good people have fallen out of bigger organisations, probably with a lot of ideas. Will they be brave enough to go and bite a piece off or create something new? I hope so. I think we could see, a real influx of new organisers to the industry. People who have been around, but new independent.
Lovely comment from Phil Saw, who said all these big organisations restructuring and taking out layers of senior management and saying, actually, it's fine. That begs two questions. And question one is, why did you have them in the first place if you didn't need them? And secondly, is that going to come back and bite you in 12 to 18 months? And I think that the opportunity, and we talk about being an entrepreneur and how difficult that is, but the opportunity is so much easier at the moment to get into our market than it's ever been, I think.
Yeah, there's loads of opportunity. I love Phil, by the way. Classic. I mean, Yeah, great opportunity. Well, the barrier for entry is never high, is it? I mean, anyone can organise an event or an exhibition, as we know, but again, venue space might be a barrier to entry, I suppose, because but again, I think there's an opportunity to be flexible. I think, do you know what this has done? It's kind of given us a chance to be a bit more daring. You know, we were following the same formula for years and years and years, and you know, it's working. Why would you fix it? But everything's, you know, the carpet's been pulled up, and it's okay. Well, let's try a few different things. No one's going to blame me for that. You know, we're doing this Alivex thing, this hotel thing, you know, that kind of thing. Try something. I think there's a real opportunity.
Carpet, metaphorically fine, but literally, yeah, let's pull the carpet up, because actually,
yeah, I know. Seriously, why not?
We both got that email from somebody who sent us a picture of his show where they just polished the floors, and you know, fantastic.
Well, that's Mark, isn't it? Mark Maloney. And do you know what? I said this. We went one of the last shows I went to before, other than Confex, of course, which was we just snuck in as the COVID curtains were closing. Was Euroshop, which would have been February last year, wasn't it? Yeah, in oh God, where in Germany? Frankfurt, Düsseldorf, can't remember. Anyway, yeah, and I did a couple of laps of that, which is hard walking, all polished floors, all polished concrete. And I was saying to Simon at the time, I said, well, why don't we do this? This is crazy. This is completely professional, acceptable, looks good. Why aren't we doing that? So it's interesting on that comment, but I agree. It's for sustainable reasons as well. It's crazy.
I think the thing that's going to hit our industry really hard in the not too distant future is the green agenda, the sustainable agenda. And we've sort of dodged a bullet in the last year because there's been other things going on out there. We haven't had shows, not least that. But I think once
we've been really sustainable this year.
That's how you do it in one step.
Don't run shows.
There's a bat and a pangolin, and we've solved the problem. Who said we're not clever people?
Exactly.
Just on a sidestep, then. So we've, as you rightly say, we've survived so many things as an industry. We've shown ourselves to be quite a bit Teflon, which is great. What do you think? What worries you? What's the thing that keeps you awake at night when you think about the exhibition industry going forward in the UK? What worries you? What's your fear?
Oh God, I hate that question, Ruth. I'm not a great worrier. I worry about West Ham mainly. No, I don't. I'm not a great worrier. I think there's certain things that you know get under my skin a bit. I suppose that's you know, and I've said already. I think I hate that. Do you know what? People who spout doom and gloom all the time, it kind of really winds me up actually, and I find that we can talk ourselves into bad situations. Oh God, yeah. I mean, even now. There's people saying that they'll Confex really. Oh, no, there's no chance that will go ahead. You know, based on what? People confusing, you know, fact with their own opinions, I suppose, which can get in the way sometimes. But I'm not worried for our industry at all. I'm actually quite excited about it. It will look the bigger boys, I suppose, who have relied on these blockbuster shows and international travel. That's going to take a while to come back. We know that. It will come back, though. But it's going to take a while and confidence to be restored. It will take a while, so bit by bit. But the opportunity for the flexible and the small and the ambitious and the, you know, the brave, smaller organizer, there's so many opportunities out there right now. And I think that's a really exciting time. And I suppose my only fear is that we don't go and grab that. How about that? That's one of those horrible interview answers. My only fear is that I've worked too hard. No, but there's such a great opportunity that I hope we take it. And I'd like us to be a bit braver as an industry. I throw madcap ideas out there, and I don't know if it's then, oh, that's madcap ideas are going to work, but could we be just trying different things, trying different venues, and doesn't have to be the same formula all the time. Why couldn't we run an exhibition 24/7? Has anyone ever done that? Overnight. What's wrong with that? Why can't we stay open all night? Why do we have to go high? Why can't it be the same rate to build up through the night? What's all this? Chuck all those rules out. Let's start again. That sort of thing I'd like to see happen a bit more.
That's really interesting. So you talk about quite a lot. You talk a lot with passion about the industry, and as we said at the beginning, MASH has been around for 26 years. One of the questions I get asked an awful lot is, so what's Jules?
How is that when I'm only 25? Is that the question you're asking?
You look so young. I mean, wow. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, what's Jules really like? And and I'm still under contract, so I can't answer it honestly, obviously. But the one thing I do say is the amount that you and MASH give to the industry is fantastic. So you passionately care about our industry. What next for MASH? Because you're not a man that sits still, and as you say, and you can throw 100 ideas out, of which, frankly, 101 are usually quite crazy. But there's going to be a nugget in there which creates something. So, where next for MASH then?
We're talking about, which direction the strategy should go in. There's lots of opportunity, I think, for us to replicate some of the things we do abroad. We've had a few little goes, but not with real passion and a little bit on the hoof. Whereas now I've got, you'll have seen the team now, and I've actually got some proper people in there now, and and I think I want more of those. Do you know that? I do want more of those. I think it's got to be having serious people around, real talent around. Accelerates you, and I suppose we're being a bit more established, haven't been around enough now. We can start to attract those people. It wasn't easy in the early days. You'd want them, but we weren't an attractive enough proposition. So I think now that's changing. We've got about, honestly, maybe 15 products that we'd still like to do in and around the mice industry, and to also expand that abroad. We keep thinking, should we do some stuff that's not in the mice industry, especially after this year? It's like, well, why don't you get on with the other stuff? There isn't any other stuff. This is it. But you do publishing, don't you? Yes, publishing for the events industry. So no, there's no way out. I think, but following on, I think video. We're loving video. There's much more that we want to do on that platform, certainly, as you know, Ruth, because we've been involved in some of those discussions. So, but education as well, we feel that we could help in that regard, and bringing further talent into the industry. We've got some plans there, and how to educate that and how to make that plan all happen. So those are things that I think we're going to be pushing towards, and we're quite keen to put proper plans in place for that.
Jules, I could talk to you all day, and we usually do. This is like on our normal conversations, but without any of the politically incorrect comments. So we've done very well.
We've been really good. Really good.
Let's not blow it. We've done really well.
No, let's not blow it. Let's blow it.
Jules, thank you very much. Genuinely appreciate your time. It's been really interesting to hear where things are going, what you're looking at doing, and also just to get a feeling of that passion and excitement. Look forward to seeing you and everybody else at Confex on the 22nd of June, and it's going to be one hell of a moment to be back together and to celebrate our industry at its finest. So thanks very much. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.